Welcome back to Push to Talk. Today we're joined by Maxwell LeVan, the magician, the singer, the rapper, the producer, the multi-platinum artist, the maybe pro boxer soon. Is that right? Is
Maybe.
that
I don't
everything?
know. That sounds like everything. Yeah. How
Okay,
you doing, man?
cool. I'm doing well. How are you, bro?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good.
So where did it start, man? Um, I walked into the gym one day and I saw you boxing and I didn't know anything about you. Saw you had your nails painted and I was like, oh, this guy's different. He stands
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, bro. That's always been the goal though, pretty much. Like I've a lot of things that I've stopped doing, I've circled back around to. Like when I was in elementary school, I would sing everywhere and I would play the piano and I would take lessons and I just couldn't get it. So I gave up on it. And
Yeah.
then I circled back around to that about a year ago, like when COVID started and everything. And same thing with boxing. I sort of took it up a couple years ago when I was going through some, hard stuff in my life, and I had people there that were there for me. And one of my friends was a boxer, and he's really good still. And he just, we got a heavy bag and we started practicing. And I never really planned to go pro with it. I still might, maybe, possibly for some YouTube event or something, but I don't know that I could dedicate myself to it 100%. And my thing is
Yeah.
like, if I can't do it 100%, I'd rather not do it at all.
Yeah, because
Than
you,
like,
you got your hand in a lot of different jars for sure. That's
yeah.
one thing I like
So
about you.
yeah, it's good, but also can be overwhelming because when it comes to like personal life, like a relationship,
What
I've
are
had to
those?
tell exactly. I've had to tell a lot of people like, look, I can't give my 100% to my craft and to you because then
Yeah,
I'm a half ass at both things. And
right.
I'd rather be good at one thing and then come back to the other one than, just mess up both of them. So that's
That's
hard as a teenage boy, it's very hard to set your priorities straight, but I think I'm trying to figure it out still.
yeah, I mean you can get like pleasures from different things. I was talking to my friend the other day and I was like, I'm depressed. Like I just want to meet a girl. Like I just want a wife, you know what I mean? And he's like,
Yeah.
bro, where do you have time in your life for that? Like, you
Yeah,
work from 9 to 5, then you go to boxing.
we want a lot of things just because we feel like that's the thing that you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like if you go without some stuff, then you don't know what you're missing out, really. You know,
Yeah. And
sometimes I compare it to like, sorry, sometimes
oh,
I
go ahead.
compare it to like me being vegetarian. Like I've never eaten meat in my life, dude.
Are you serious?
So yeah, I'm vegetarian. So people are like, you've never had bacon? It's so good. But I'm like, I've never had it, so I don't know what I'm
Never?
missing out on. Nah, dude.
Whoa, dude.
Yeah, bro.
That's
Not a
crazy.
lot of people know. I don't like go around talking about it. It's not
Yeah.
my identity like a vegan or something. But just vegetarian. I just I never eat meat.
I've always wanted to
Which,
try something like that, like some restrictive diet, like either vegan or vegetarian. I just don't know if I could do it, man. I get hangry.
but that's the thing. Again, it's hard. It's probably hard to transition into that. Especially
Yeah.
after living your whole life eating meat. But again, I don't know what I'm going without.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
it's hard for the gym and for boxing, like to bulk up in order to gain the weight,
Yeah. And also
which
like you'd have to
sucks.
eat so much like other sources of protein because protein's so important to like keeping the gym alive, for me anyway.
Yeah, yeah. But if I'm gonna be different, I'm gonna be different in every category. Because even when we go out to eat now, I have to. Well, my whole life, I have to get something different. Or if everybody's getting chicken or whatever, like I gotta be the weird guy that just gets something plain. So I guess I'm used to being the oddball in some categories, in some aspects of life. So painting nails or whatever I'm doing now is the least of my concern.
I mean, like, I think I don't know if you know a guy named Jarek 120 on YouTube, big like social dynamics, like magician guy, whatever. And like he taught me from a young age, like all you need is like one thing to start a conversation. Like it doesn't even need to be like relevant in any way. But like for example, like when I saw you at a boxing gym with your nails painted, nobody else had that. So immediately I
Absolutely.
was like, I don't know this guy, but I want to know like why he's different, and like that
Right.
immediately made me interested or intrigued by you.
Right. Usually, there is some reason. Yeah, there's usually something, a good icebreaker. Like, oh, why do you think this? Oh, because of this, dude. I tell people, I'm like, look, I'm not, you know, representing anything. I'm not making a statement. I just was like, dude, and like a couple girls were like, they dug it and they painted my nails for me, and then it kind of stuck, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. Like
There,
people want a deeper story. They want something more to chew on, but I'm like, yo, look, I'm on this rock star stuff right now. I'm trying to like live the life. I'm just painting my nails. Cool.
there's so many
And
girls on Tinder
you know,
that's like, let me paint your nails, let me paint your nails. I'm like, I might consider it now.
hey, I'm one of the few that did.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, bro, go for it.
So you said you're on your Rockstar stuff, man. What's that all about?
Yeah, man. So I'm trying to, get my music to a place where, I'm able to perform it live and,
Okay.
actually like, drive crowds and have big shows and stuff. And like there's stuff that's in the works, obviously, and stuff that is really, helping me mentally be like, all right, like I know what I'm practicing for now. Because a lot of times
Yeah.
though I go out on the stage in the middle of the night and just sing my songs and just like, have the speakers going and it's just me in there, like that's cool. But like I want people there,
I f-
So
I feel like the best performers are the people that can do that though and still get hype. You know what I mean?
dude, yeah, or they can listen to their own stuff and not get bored of it, Like
Yeah.
I'm not the dude that's bumping my own songs in the car every day, but probably once every few days at least, because you gotta be your own biggest fan, I guess.
I think Gambino said a quote like that. I saw him in a YouTube video. He's like, yeah, man, I listen to my own songs all the time. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like, I can't imagine, because, like when I put a piece of content out there, like I'm so harsh on it. And I think about like every
Yeah.
small fault with it, and I'm so jealous of people that can like bump to their stuff, or look at
Well,
their art and
yeah, I don't exactly bump my release music proudly. I'm kind of
yeah,
like, change it. If it comes on, I'm like, yeah, maybe this isn't it. But I'm talking like the new stuff that I'm working on still. When I come back from
yeah,
the studio, my goal every day is to have something new when I leave the studio to listen to in the car on the way
right.
home.
When
Which,
you're working on something, it reminds you like when you fall in love with a girl for the first time, it's just like it's all you can think about, every detail about her,
yes, yeah, dude. Some nights when I make a really crazy song that I just am in love with, like I'll stay up at night because I can't sleep. I'm just listening to it over and over again in my
Yeah.
AirPods. I'm like, dude, this is sick. I want the world to hear it immediately. That used
Yeah.
to be my problem though, dude, because I used to put stuff out as soon as I finished it. Like I
Do
had
you
no team, nobody around me, nothing. I was able to just do that. And
yeah.
so I would just finish a song on GarageBand and it would be mixed terribly and it'd be clipping and I would just put it out so like, oh, this is fire. And then everybody has it now. And now they have stuff against me.
Right.
Literally, I was dropping somebody off at home tonight before I came here. And the dude was one of the dad was like, yo, my other daughter played me one of your songs. And I was like, oh no. He was like, yeah, it was on YouTube. I was like, dude, this could be a dozen songs. It could be terrible. I didn't know what it was. And eventually I found out it's all good. It was one that I put out myself. But like, dude,
Okay.
there's so many SoundCloud songs and like diss tracks I would make on people in freshman year that's just terrible, bro.
I think it's almost a good thing though, because if you look at like Post Malone's like latest like release, and then you look at that one of him like of him in like in his boxers or whatever, and he's still got like the long
Oh,
hair. Yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
think it
that's
gives people a good like point of comparison.
that's true. Yeah, because a lot of people want to be so polished and so like well kept on their music. And I'm like, look, you can have that, be proud of that stuff, tell people to listen to that stuff, but keep it all like as your resume almost,
Yeah,
Because when
exactly.
people see you and how you've evolved, that means more and they almost feel more connected to you than
It's
if they
that
just hear
catalog
your
of
like
growth, man.
most your yeah, just your big stuff,
Yeah.
which it's
I, that's kind of like why I wanted to do this podcast. It's like I just want like some catalog of something that I'm like doing and evolving over time with, you know what I mean? And see, because
yeah.
like I've always felt like I struggled to, I was talking about in the last podcast, like I have a very set script of how I want to like talk to somebody. And so I'm
Mhm.
trying to just like learn to listen better and to like respond organically. And so that's like why I'm challenging myself with this, is just to become a better listener, to like just become a better like conversationalist, you know what I
Dude,
mean?
doing podcasts and you just even being on podcasts for me has helped me a lot. Like the more you do it, once you rack up hours of just talking to people,
Yeah.
and then you're able to listen to it back. You're like, oh, I cut them off here. I should have said this instead. And so it's yeah, that's a good piece of content to watch back. In a
Yeah.
year, like literally, people don't know this. I used to daily vlog for like 2-3 years. I'd make videos every single day on my little camcorder, and I go around my house and do nothing for 5-10 minutes a day, and I post it. And they're still up there on my YouTube channel, like my oldest videos and stuff. And the reason I keep them up, and the reason that I did it in the first place, is because like you said, it's a time capsule pretty much.
Yeah,
I can watch
exactly.
it back and be like, there's no way that was really me. That's crazy. And
Yeah,
also, if you think about it, stuff like this, like you're doing here, which is I think this is dope that you're starting this. This is really
thanks, man.
cool. I think it'll go pretty far, to be honest. I think
Appreciate
it's
that.
sick.
Appreciate
But like relatives and stuff, I have family that lives in Norway and in New York and that I can't really see all the time.
that. Right.
But I get messages on Facebook, hey, I watched your video, or I watched this, or I watched, like
Yeah.
especially a long form piece of content. Like it's not
Hmm.
a bad picture that your mom posted of you or whatever. It's like a
Right.
full length that you had control over, and music
Yeah.
too. Like I saw a video of you singing, or I saw this song. Like it's cool that this day and age, like we're taking advantage of it in the best way. Like we're able to really, not only for ourselves, like a lot of stuff I do for myself, if I'm filming a video on my birthday and I'm vlogging this, whatever, like that's what used to be pictures, when I was 5 is now vlogs for the past 4 years on my birthday. Like it's cool to have that stuff and really have it forever. I think it's
I I
special.
tried to like do that like short form kind of like TikTok content where you just like you find something every day to like kind of talk about.
Hmm.
And man, like I just found that it just wasn't for me. I was trying so hard to like do the TikTok thing that
Yeah,
like I was actually getting further and further away from like the kind of
that's
content that I wanted to
yeah,
make, you know?
dude. Yeah, I don't want to make it seem like these were good vlogs at all, dude. One of them I remember it was called spending time on the swing. So I went outside on my swing for 4 minutes and just talked. I was sitting there talking about probably nothing, and I posted it. But it was for me at that point. It was quantity over quality,
But I
right?
don't think that's the TikTok thing. Like
No,
that's
TikTok,
literally
you
just doing what you wanted to do that day, right?
right. The TikTok thing, I know what you mean, and it's always the videos that you don't try on that blow up, though, right? And
Exactly.
that do well, and so that's really encourage people to not try, as you can see by going on TikTok, right? But like a
Yeah.
lot of people just are posting whatever they want. But I feel like once you find like a niche though, or something specific, just that is pretty locked in, then that's how it grows. Like that's what I did on YouTube. That's how I figured it out. Like
Yeah.
find something that you're consistent at, that you
And
can
like
really do.
the beauty of what you're doing right now, which I'm really jealous of, because I've never been good at like the reaction form or format or whatever.
Yeah.
I just don't have like that much meaningful things to contribute to like a piece of media, which you're
Yeah,
really good at. And also,
bro.
it's like you don't have to sit there and think. You can literally just like, okay, this song came out, I'm gonna do it, and it's there, it's repeatable. That's so cool.
Yeah, dude. It's literally I tell people like you can never run out of music. Like they're not gonna stop making music. If
Yeah.
anybody's gonna stop, I'm gonna just run out of the motivation to make content. But I have content set up for the rest of my life if I want to, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's a new song coming out every day from
And
somebody
you could
big.
film like 50 of them in a day and be like, okay,
Yeah,
for the
dude.
next month, I'm just gonna drop
Bro,
these or schedule them out,
I
you know?
I filmed a video. I bagged a video before I went on vacation. I'm gonna post it tonight. Like,
Yeah.
it's just,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah.
And that's what I like about this is like the hardest thing is finding because the like the three criteria I say to bring people on this is like one, I want them to be like a friend or a family member. Like right now, that's what I want because like
Right.
there's so many friends and family members that like you just don't talk to every day. Like you and I
Yeah.
have probably had two meaningful conversations. Like one the day I met you, and two
Yeah.
Juneteenth, the when we were in the art gallery. Um,
Yeah.
the other thing is like I want them to be like super hardworking, kind of like me. You know, like
Mm,
I want them to just have a good work ethic and like be able to
mm,
talk about what they're doing. And then the third one is like we don't get to talk that much. So like it's
yeah.
hard to find people that fit all of those.
Yeah.
And
I know what you
so
mean.
that's like the hardest thing about this podcast so far is just finding people and like making sure I can get them locked down for like an episode. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But for the first time in my life, like I'm just doing content that's like interesting to me, as opposed to like having to think of like this big brain Mr. Beast idea that's gonna go
Yeah.
viral, you know?
Yeah. But then if you think about it, those ideas that people that go viral, it was also just a good idea to somebody. It was also just something they wanted to do. Like,
Yeah,
hopefully, ideally,
right.
like any big YouTuber, any big video, like they're just doing what they're doing anyways.
Yeah.
Maybe not Mr. Beast, but they're capturing it, or they're living a little bit of an elevated life on camera, but like that's
Right.
them for the most part.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
I think me being on camera my whole teenage years really taught me how to be the same on and off camera and just, express myself. And that's why like people that watch my videos, when they meet me in person sometimes or at the mall, I get stopped or whatever. They're like, yo, you're the same like as in videos because yeah, dude, you got to
Yeah,
keep it you. I think the podcast is perfect for that. Like, cause you can't really fake it for, a
right.
long period of time.
And it
There's
helps people to
no,
like grow a personal connection with you. I feel like for anybody that like kind of follows you, like if they even watch you talk for like an hour, it's just a completely different thing from what they might get if they just watch 6 seconds, right?
yeah. And they feel like they know you. And people that
Exactly.
are on the podcast do get to know you better.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're even closer with the people you talk to, I'm sure afterwards, like even just a
Yeah.
little bit,
No,
it's
that's so interesting you bring that up because like there's this dude that he was an improv coach of mine in high school and I was like his biggest fan. Like he was my mentor and everything. And I looked
right,
up to this dude so much. And I was like, yo man, you gotta come on the pod. And this was like 7 years ago that like he was my coach or whatever.
right.
And like now like we check in like super often. Like it feels like at least once a week I'm texting him or he's texting me. And we're like interacting more and it just feels like it reestablishes like a
Yeah,
connection.
it's a reconnection. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which is
So I'm
it's
super
good that you're
thankful
doing.
for that.
Yeah, it's good that you're doing with people you know at first, because a lot of
Yeah,
people and a lot of podcasts and hosts and stuff like it's another guest and they
yeah,
don't think about it. But it's good there's people you know and you're building the community,
yeah.
and then like yeah, of course, dude.
For a couple
It's
months, I'm definitely gonna keep it with people I know, and then probably like search for like different people that are doing things like on YouTube, look for small channels and stuff, and just people that are doing something,
yeah,
you know?
yeah, and people that don't get the opportunity maybe to sit down for an hour and talk,
Exactly.
because that
Exactly.
I feel like that would go a long way. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so we have something in common with magic. Was there a reason you started doing it? Because for
Oh,
me,
for
it was learn to talk to girls.
wait, you did wait, you did magic?
I didn't tell you that?
No, bro. I don't think we ever talked about that.
Yeah,
Maybe we
so
mentioned it briefly, but I don't remember.
a couple episodes ago, I brought on this kid named Devin Nguyen. He actually taught me in high school everything he knew about magic. He introduced me to like the David Blaine like hand trick where you put one in there and you like
Oh, that's
rub it over and pop.
crazy,
And then from there, I was like in love with magic. So I
dude.
used it to learn to talk to girls and just people in general, honestly.
Yeah, I definitely have used that as a tool to meet a lot of. I've ended up dating like two girls I met doing card tricks, which is
Yeah.
crazy. But yeah, you still it's a good thing to bring out like at the club every now and then or whatever. But I haven't really been on it as much in the past year or so. Especially COVID really
Yeah.
killed my motivation. I was like, I can't do anything with
Right.
this. I was like performing before and I was doing shows and I was doing parties, whatever. But
Yeah.
I started around the same time I started boxing. Because I lost my dad like the end of 2018, like right before Christmas
Damn. I didn't
and
know that.
shit. Yeah, so it kind of was like, all right, I didn't. I told myself I was like, I don't really have control over much. Like I thought to
Yeah.
myself, I was like, you don't have control over much in life. You really don't. And so magic was something that I kind of could give myself control over, and something that
Yeah.
I could, be proud of, and like that was all in my hands, and I could control everything and make something like extraordinary happen for somebody that.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's really cool. That's not the usual excuse. Well, the reason I give people,
Yeah.
because that's kind of too deep. But I'm just like, picked up deck of cards one day and just went on YouTube and watched it, which is true too. I love
Yeah.
David Blaine. I've loved him forever, and I got a signed poster from him. It was like the best
Oh, that's
gift I could
sweet.
ever gotten, dude. Yeah, it's on my wall. It's
That's awesome.
crazy, but yeah, I
I
mean, I go
I
ahead.
was gonna say I feel like magic like probably like for me as a dude that like also did like acting and stuff, I learned magic a little bit at the same time. And so it kind of like expanded itself into those other aspects of my life. And it made me just more outgoing, more like unafraid to
Oh,
look stupid, you
of
know?
of course, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
bro. Going to a restaurant or a function and going to somebody a table and asking them if they want to see a card trick is one
Right?
of the scariest things you can do, bro. I don't know if you'll realize, like even on the street, like if you have a camera there, which I've done some stuff with cameras, like like a documentary style thing, you can
Hmm.
get away with it better because people are like, oh, there's a camera, it's fine. But if you're just a dude wearing like a hoodie walking down the road at like dusk and you're asking somebody to want to see a card trick, like nobody says yes, dude. And it
See,
really,
I'm actually
yeah.
on the opposite fence because I feel like whenever I have a camera in my hand, when I was doing like my TikTok like vlogging thing,
Oh,
I was
right.
so afraid to have like a camera on me because I felt like people would think, oh, he's a wannabe, like he's trying to be like one of those LA guys, you know what I mean? And that made me
Again, though,
more
look,
afraid.
that's probably just a being on YouTube thing for years. It's just like have been a part of my life for
Yeah,
like my cameras and stuff. But yeah, that's true. It depends, and it depends how you sell it. But the boxing thing, I started around the same time because I guess same thing, like therapy. It was just a good outlet for
yeah,
what I was
100%.
feeling and stuff. And still, it is like that's why I don't really care if I take it too seriously or if I go every single day. But it's kind of just I have a bag outside, and if I need to go hit it at 2 a.m., I'll just go hit the bag until I'm
Yeah,
sweating. And it's like, okay, it's cool. And it's also, you have something to kind of push yourself for.
right.
You're like, I ask myself kind of, I'm like, what do you want me to live in this, or what do you want me to embrace life, for what it is?
Right.
Because I feel like it's not, wouldn't want me to just be depressed forever,
Yeah,
and
no, a
just
lot
remind
of
me that you don't know how much time you have left. Nobody does.
yeah, exactly.
Like not to be on some like pessimistic type shit, but like, dude, even though we're teenagers, like, dude, stuff happens to teenagers all the time. We have no
Yeah,
idea.
no,
So
it's true.
I'm like,
It's
dude, I'm gonna leave it all on the table.
it's weird because people at the gym, they always ask me, they say like, oh, are you trying to go pro? Like, this, that, and the third. And it's like,
Right.
I gotta be here for me to be happy. Like, I don't think,
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody's like that, but if I don't go to the gym, even a couple days, like I just get to a really dark place. You know what I mean? I always have
Yeah,
been like that, and I need to go, right?
yeah, and
And
yeah, it's like it's essential. It's part of your
yeah,
health. It's honestly, it's honestly part of your life. It should be part of your lifestyle if that's something you do.
and
You can't
I
just
feel like it spreads into other parts of our lives as well. Like the boxing thing, it teaches you so many things that just like
oh,
impact the
for
other
sure,
parts of
bro.
your life. You know, just like the magic thing. Like the magic thing makes you better at talking to people. I feel like the boxing thing makes you more tenacious to achieve your goals. It makes you
Mhm.
understand like if you want to get something in life, like you have to work for it. You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, I mean, dude, I put it all out there. I chose to not go to college. You know what I mean? I graduated high school and I was like, look, I've started a lot of things and I've put my hand in a lot of jars, like you said, and
yeah,
one of them's bound to work out. That was the mentality before. I was like, oh, one of them, it'll work out. Something will work out. It'll fall into place. Like I'm,
yeah,
I have a kind of a personality for some of these things. Like I could do it, but then I was like, I have to make it work out. It's not gonna just work out on its own.
right,
Like boxing, I'm not gonna just accidentally go to a big fight and win, or magic. I'm not gonna just wake up knowing how to do the stuff and videos and music, like same thing, you know. But I'm conflicted because again, I'm still 18, so like I'm conflicted, of what am I doing this? Am I doing too much? Do I have my hands full? Like, am I just half-assing everything by trying to do it all? But I'm passionate about all of them. I don't do anything I don't want to do or I'm not passionate about,
yeah. I
which
don't want
is
to call myself old because I'm not. I just turned 24.
right.
Um, but I'm so like jealous of you being like 18. That is such like opportunity.
Bro,
And
people tell me that I don't know I don't know how to feel about that. Like, am I just? I don't think I'm ahead of my years. I think I just have my plate full sometimes, to be honest.
well, I think like one thing that you and I are both pretty good at, I feel like, is identifying maybe when something isn't like our space. Like we know what
Yeah.
we're really good at, and then we know what should be a
Mhm.
hobby, right? And so like
Yeah.
for me, when I went through a phase where I was like making music, I even said to you the other day, like, oh, I'd love to come over and like drop some bars on a
Of
mixtape or
course.
whatever. Like
Yeah.
it's just for fun. Like
Yeah,
I
but
have no
that's not your passion. Like,
exactly.
yeah. Yeah. I've
So I feel like you're good at that too.
yeah. And sometimes though, like I have a this is a little branch off. This dude that I've signed to my label, right? He put out one song and it kind of blew up and it's doing crazy numbers. And so I let him like write his own Spotify bio, whatever, right? I
Yeah.
went on and it's like, I'm not trying to do this seriously. Like, I don't take it seriously. I don't want this as my job or anything. I'm just doing it for fun. I'll put music out whenever. I was like, that's cool, but also you gotta at least seem like you're taking it seriously.
Right.
If you're doing well and you're doing numbers, you gotta have people think, come back for more. But
Right.
yeah, like um that came out of nowhere. What were you talking about?
Well, I
What
mean,
were you saying?
just on the back of that, like I was messaging this dude the other day that I was interested in bringing on the
Oh
podcast.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I said to him, I said like, oh, I'm just doing this podcast for fun. And I was like, no, like you got to sell yourself. So I was like, I'm starting this podcast. I'm
Yeah,
really
yeah, no,
interested in
exactly. Yeah,
sharing our audience.
yeah, yeah. And because, dude, anything I'm doing now as a hobby could easily and realistically become a career if I like
Yeah.
wanted to. Right now I'm an adult with the resources to really fully pursue whichever avenue I want to do. Boxing, dude. I have a good gym, great
Yeah.
sparring partner. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
I know the people. I know people. People that can set some stuff up. So if I want to do that and pursue it, I can. Music, same thing, right? Videos, pretty much just me, but like I could. So
Yeah.
I just really have to take the next year or so to kind of decide what I really want to do and what is a hobby.
Yeah.
Because if it's
I
a
don't want to
hobby,
decide it
cool.
for you,
But
but I
like
think music.
with magic, oh no, yeah, for sure. I was talking to somebody the other day. She just came to the studio to listen to my EP that I'm putting out soon, and she was like, "Dude, for the next 10 years at least, you're gonna be doing music. I don't know what, but you can't you can't escape it." And I was like, "All right," because literally like back and forth between being a producer and a singer, like it's all together. You're frozen a little bit, but yeah, it's like all kind of is all in one though. Like people ask me what do I do, it's hard, bro. When I meet
Yeah.
somebody and like, so what do you do? I'm like, okay, I don't want to be self-congratulatory, but I also don't want to sound like a schmuck with no job.
Yeah.
So which one is it? I'm like, I'm a producer. That's I usually say I'm a producer, but I don't want to get into the whole like, oh, I'm a YouTuber and I'm a this because they don't look at that as a real job. Saying
Exactly.
a musician is pretty easy for like my grandparents to grasp.
Right.
Saying like I make music or I produce music. Like, okay, that's cool.
I think it's so interesting that we got into a place where like when people ask like, "Oh, what are you?" Like they're asking like what you are, and what they really mean is like, what do you do? So like what you do now defines like what
Yeah.
you
Oh,
are.
that's true.
And like I've always thought that was interesting because like
Yeah.
what if you're just like and I don't mean just like that's bad, but like, I was just a
Right.
cashier at Chick-fil-A like 6 months ago or something like that. And
Right.
it's like, what, like,
Yeah.
I hate that that is like what defines you because like, even if you're a cashier at Chick-fil-A, you might also be making music. You might also be on a podcast. You might
Yeah.
also be like,
But
and
you might be afraid to embrace that, you know.
yeah,
For a
that's
while,
true.
like that was like my uh and also older people, it's hard for them to really like understand, especially with the new generation and stuff, you know. Like you can tell them a lot of things and you can kind of, but saying music or having something for them to listen to on their phone or their iPad or whatever, giving them music or giving them a podcast or something is a lot easier for them to digest than you saying like I
Right.
trade crypto or I do this or that, like which is also which is also a thing. My grandpa was reading a news article like 4 months ago, I think, like 5 months ago, and they mentioned something about like money in there. Like it was about me or whatever. And he's like, wait, so you actually can make money? You actually make money off of this stuff? And I was like, and it was, like, it was wholesome because like he wants to, be invested and stuff. And that's cool. It's cool that, you know, slowly they're understanding. But
Yeah, man.
yeah, it's
Crypto
hard.
is
It's
just
hard to,
it's
yeah, the whole what are you thing. I know I
sorry.
don't even bring that in the conversation anymore. I'm just like I don't bring up crypto. I'm just like yeah, you know what? That's a me thing. That's a me thing.
See, I've
But
learned to
what were you
stay
gonna
as
say?
far away from crypto as I can because like it literally without fail, anything I put my money into with crypto, anything immediately tanks, and anything that I pull out of immediately
It goes
moons.
up. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
immediately.
Yeah, I've gotten very, very fortunate a couple of times, and then I've kind of been like, I'm gonna end on a win. Like I'm not really jumping back into something. Like I'm good.
Yeah,
It's passive income, so I'm not mad at it, but
right.
definitely
There's
not gonna put all my eggs in that basket and like trade all day and stuff. Like, nah, I'm gonna go hustle and make the money in my
yeah.
sleep.
And that's what's so cool about like this generation that we live in. You can literally make money doing like anything, like
Hmm.
anything you can do, you can make money off of. I made a Fiverr account the other day, and like I'm freelancing like small graphics that I used to do. Like my friend one day asked me like if I would do an edit for his website. He needed to take like the brand name off of a boat so that he could put it on his website, right? I was like,
Right,
oh, that's easy Photoshop.
of course.
And he's been asking me to do this kind of stuff for like a year and a half now, these small little Photoshop jobs. And I'm thinking like,
Hmm.
dude, I could market this, like even if it's just like
Dude,
20
of
bucks a
course,
pop,
bro.
you know?
Have you looked at NFTs?
Yeah, so I had to get out of that space a little bit because Ethereum was just getting so expensive to even move around,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, right. But
Um, but I would love to generate NFTs. Like it's not that hard when you think about it. You just create like a bunch of different assets using like graphic design, and then you
mhm,
can just like code them up to randomly delegate like which goes where. It's really not that
yeah,
hard.
yeah. Well, I was talking more on the creation side. Like, yeah, you could totally make it. Make some money doing that.
Yeah, I
That'd be
thought
sick.
about it. It's just there's so many like sellers and creators now that I don't
Yeah.
like, and that's the thing that I hate about these spaces is like you never know when it's the point where it's too late, right, to get in.
Right. Right. Well, Gary Vee is still pushing them. You keep up with Gary Vee.
Yeah,
Like
that's
it's
actually
it
why I
is.
started this podcast was I saw a Gary Vee video and I was like, I need to do something.
I need
So
to do it, dude. Gary Vee's got me out of bed a lot. A
yeah.
lot of time, a lot of days. I'm laying in bed at 1 p.m. Just woke up and I'm like, dude, I gotta go do something, man. And then yeah, listen to his talk at the gym, dude, for sure. But
Yeah.
I feel like it's not too saturated because the market, like the number of consumers are going up just the same, if not faster than the
Yeah.
number of producers.
And that's true because now that everybody's kind of moving away from Ethereum, or at least they have been for a little bit, I could definitely like do something on like the Selenium or Solana. Solana, the Solana blockchain or something.
Yeah,
I could create NFTs there or something.
yeah. This
So
is
that's
not
definitely an
financial
option.
advice, though. I'm not telling you what you should do.
I mean, I don't think it's like a big cost of entry to create NFTs really. It's just a
No,
time thing. So
yeah, time is money, though. So
that's true.
that's the only thing you got to think about. But if you're chilling, if there's a night where you're not doing a podcast and you're up, just work on
Yeah.
something.
Well, that's the thing that always goes first for me is sleep. Like everybody's like, oh, I need sleep, I need sleep. And it's like sleep is
Yeah.
expendable, bro. What do you mean?
Yeah, dude. Nah, I have a problem with that too. I have
Yeah.
a problem because I'm a night owl, but I'm also an early bird
I'm not an early
sometimes.
bird
And
at
sometimes,
all. I mean, I have to be 5 days a week for
my
my job.
right, yeah, yeah. My problem is this though. I don't usually wake up early, but I always say it's easier to stay up than to wake up. Like if I gotta be somewhere at 5, if I get to hit the
Right.
studio at 5:30, 6 o'clock before anybody's awake, I'll just stay up and then go to bed at 1 p.m. and sleep all day. Like it's not a good sleep schedule at all. But
But when
working
you're
the night
working for
shift
yourself,
sometimes is
right?
good. Right. Then it's like I woke up at 2. Oh man. Okay. you
Yeah.
know,
I mean,
but it's still not good. It kills your social life though. Doing what I do right now is like it kills your a lot of friend. Not it doesn't kill them, but it definitely like I don't know. People aren't gonna wait around for you.
I know what
I
you
realize
mean.
that.
Like, my friends always invite me out, and like, usually the time that I'm able to set up a podcast is like on a Saturday or on a Sunday, like on those days when you go out. And then Fridays, I usually spend into the gym until like 9-ish. So
Yeah,
like, there goes my weekend, right? It's completely shot. And
yeah,
so it's hard to balance like a
yeah,
social life, let alone having like a full-fledged girlfriend, right?
yeah. Dude, nah. Uh, I was talking to my best friend today. I told him I was like, "Look, dude, this girlfriend, not right now, bro. Like,
Yeah,
it sucks, dude. Because look, people come into your life and you're like, bro, but sometimes like feelings aren't even enough for a relationship, to
right.
stay one, let alone to start one. And like, I'd feel like a douchebag for getting into something if I knew I couldn't commit to it 100%.
Exactly.
Like feelings aside, even though feelings shouldn't always go aside. Like I do feel like I don't want it to be like, oh, he just cares about work, but dude, at the same time, man,
Yeah,
I'd rather tell you up front, hey, look, I don't have the energy or the time right now, versus like lead you on, or
exactly.
eventually I don't pick up the phone for 6 hours, or
Yeah,
I'm sleeping all day. Then it's like now, not only am I, a bad boyfriend, like I feel like a bad person,
right.
so.
I feel like I discovered a cheat code with relationships though. In my last
Oh dude,
relationship, we were long
spill.
distance for 3 years, right? And it sucks, right? Hear me out. It sucks being long distance, but I feel
Hmm.
like in this time where we're not like married and with kids yet, long distance is like kind of a good thing because especially if you're only like 2 hours away, right? Because the beauty of it is you can be like
Okay.
long distance, okay? For the week, you can work at night or work during the day. You can
Right,
FaceTime at
right.
night, right? Because it's easy to set aside an hour
Yeah,
on FaceTime. I feel like everybody can do
of
that,
course, yeah.
right? And then on the
For the
weekends you can
most part,
travel
yeah.
to see them, right? And so I've
Okay.
always seen this as kind of like the ideal way to be until you're able to really settle down, really lock down and commit to something and kind of put aside your dreams to like really commit to a family. Um, it's kind of
Yeah,
works for
bro.
me,
I
you know?
I had a not great experience with a long distance person that ended up like flying out to sea. I won't say not great because she's probably, I don't know, she might be listening, whatever. But look, in theory, it's great.
Hmm.
But I kind of realized, like, dude, if you have to, because this was like a flight, this is like across the country. If you have to go
Yeah,
fly to see somebody, even if you're there for a week, every couple of months, the heightened emotion never goes away. So you're not really getting the real them. Every weekend for a couple hours away, that's probably more like realistic of who it is. But
yeah,
if you have never met them, or you only see them every couple of months, and you go fly out, like anybody can stay happy and giddy for a week while you're there, and like you're never really around who they really are. So I feel like it's hard to navigate that part of it. That makes sense. Like,
that- that's actually real because I feel like with my ex-girlfriend, like I said, we were together like 3 years and like I think two
mm,
and a half was long distance. I may have misspoke earlier, but like
mm,
once we actually really started like considering our future, I think that's the moment when
mm.
our relationship broke. And it might be because of what you said. Like we never really
Dude,
saw the real like each
yes.
other,
I
right?
Yeah, I dated this girl for like 8 months, right? And when we first started talking, before we were dating, right? We would talk about the future and like what life was gonna be like. And it was always like, oh yeah, it's gonna be so cool. Like I can't wait. And then once, and just me talking about what I wanted to do in my career and stuff, right? But then once the dreams started becoming reality and stuff really sank in and became true, then it's like, oh wait, I I don't know if I'm ready for all this. And so I was
Yeah,
kind of just like, look, I'm not gonna drag you into something that you're not ready for, but also it's unfair for me to be held back. So
right.
that sucks too, because if there's not really like a fight or a falling out, it's hard to end a good relationship, just
Yeah,
off of like the future. But it was means, when stuff starts coming true that they once were down for, and then eventually you're both like, actually, wait, this is a little too much. It's
Right.
like, it goes back to the, I don't want to halfway do either thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you love them, let them go.
We interrupt this program to bring to you our sponsors. Thank you, Monster Energy, for sponsoring this episode. For 0 sugar and 10 calories, you get a lot of good energy that keeps you going throughout the day. Let me tell you, I have about 3 of these a day. We don't recommend having 3 of these a day. I personally do. As somebody that works 8 hours a day in front of the computer and then has to go box for 3 hours, it's good to have a nice little pick me up. So we recommend Monster Energy as your energy drink of choice. Thank you, and back to the program. Okay, so you probably get this all the time as like a music guy, but do you ever find that like you do self-sabotage for the sake of like for the art, man?
Oh, dude. Okay, so look.
He comes in close. He's like, okay, so real
All
talk.
right, all right. This might be exclusive. I don't know.
Okay.
So, um, I put out a song
Hmm.
in April, right, on my birthday, my 18th birthday. I was like, all right, dude, I have the song. I lined it up and I was gonna put it out, and it came out on my birthday, right? And I was like, look, I broke up with my girlfriend the day before, right? Literally April Fool's Day, April 1st, right? Probably a shitty day to break up with your girlfriend, because having to answer no to the question, is this a prank, sucks.
I'm like
Having to be like,
embarrassed for you right now, man.
having to be like, hey, look, no, it's not a joke, and this is a perfectly good relationship that I'm happy in. However, I care about us both enough to be like, we can't do it. It sucked. And then I put a song out, and I kind of just arbitrarily wrote it like a month before, and I was like, whatever, right? But as I listened to it in the following months, I was like, wait, I was saying some real stuff I wasn't even thinking. There was like in the back of my mind that I wasn't even thinking about.
Yeah.
I've subconsciously written like a lot of songs about stuff. I won't say I self-sabotage. I know some people that do that like intentionally get their heart broken and stuff. No. I don't think I don't know. The EP that I'm putting out soon, there's 6 songs on there as of right now. It's got some stuff that I may or may not have known what I was getting into when I wrote it. Yeah, I definitely was like, okay, that's definitely about this girl from the other day, and I'm not talking to her again. So yeah, I guess a little bit, but no, for the most part, I don't. I try to keep it as separate as I can. However, dude, if you break a musician's heart, or a musician gets their heart broken, or vice versa, like, dude, there's gonna be some music about it.
Yeah.
Some songs you're like, yeah, this is definitely about me.
Right.
You know, especially yeah.
So I guess what's your process, man? Because when I was writing like lyrics or anything like that, like just for fun, I was doing it for fun. I found it so hard to like actually just sit down and do it, and I felt like everything I was writing like wasn't real, or it was too polished, or it wasn't polished enough. Like, what's your process?
I'm gonna tell you something, bro. I've been making music since, well, I don't know what we define as making music, right? Because I've been making SoundCloud songs for a couple of years, but like, I'm talking about actually producing and like releasing stuff. I've never sat down and written a song. Like, I've never been like, all right, let me get the notes app out and brainstorm, write lyrics. When
Okay.
people come to me and they're like, I wrote a song, I'm like, oh no, because they're like, okay, we just gotta make a thing and make it work. And because look, the problem is, especially with rap, but just with songs in general, if you write lyrics first, not to get too musically technical, but like, it's a lot easier to find a melody and then find words that fit that than find a melody
Oh
that
yeah,
that fits every syllable of every word you want to say perfectly. Because then you have a really all over the place kind of song,
yeah. Right.
where the rap, the lyrics are inconsistent, and like people think I'm crazy because I'm like, they'll be doing something like a rap kind of freestyle. I'm like, different line. You have to have this amount of syllables on here for it to go. Like, dude, what are you talking about? But if you do it, it works. So
Yeah.
I will always just kind of build an instrumental, build the beat, the outline of it, and I'll go in the studio, kind of hum along for 5-10 minutes, find a melody, and then go back into the other room and listen to it over and over again, just me saying gibberish or whatever, and fill it all in, find the hook and then go for it. And then build the rest of the song around that. Because if you have a bass line or horns or something that goes, with something you're saying, you kind of put that in after the fact. But it's pretty simple, to be honest.
That's something I learned from like some of John Bellion's like making of videos on YouTube. Like
Yeah.
he'll just be humming out like these beautiful like melodies, and then like he'll
Yeah.
say one word that you know is in the lyrics,
Yeah.
but it was an accident. It wasn't planned, and then he builds
Exactly.
around that word until he has like a cohesive, understandable phrase. Right? It's
It's
so cool.
it's so satisfying, but also a little frustrating when you listen to those, because I have like 2 hour videos of Juice World in the studio making songs that, like, the ending of it, and you're like, bro,
Right.
just spit it out. Like, yeah, you're on the edge of something great, and it takes them an hour to figure it out,
Right.
or like Lil Nas X, like, I have clips of him in the studio trying to figure stuff out, and like, but it's cool to document that and also to understand, like, as non-musicians, none of this stuff just, happened. Like,
Right.
unless you're really up there and people are writing songs for you and you have all your stuff preset and you just go in there, like, the people that make it from scratch, dude, it's a different process for everybody, but when I'm in the studio with somebody, I'll kind of encourage them to just maybe go in there and hum along and figure something out versus coming to me with all their lyrics and they don't know what to do next.
I have a podcast going up with a guy this Tuesday. He actually does improv, like whose line is it anyway, kind of thing. And
Hmm.
he was talking about this like improv to sketch format where literally you improvise like with other comedians, and then
Hmm.
like whatever's good you write down, and that becomes like the joke. And that
Right.
reminds me kind of what we're talking about, like where you kind of just improvise, you hum out the melody, and then you write it down when it's like good, you know? And
Of
I feel like
course.
some of the best art, some of the best like work in general is kind of made in that space that isn't like too thought provoked. It's rather just what you feel, you know?
Hmm. I literally bought a book that I gave it to my boy, the one that doesn't want to be a musician.
Yeah.
But I gave him, it has 60,000 rhymes in it. It's a rhyming
Wow.
dictionary. It's a rhyming dictionary, bro. And he was
Yeah.
doing more like rap, like upbeat, crazy stuff, But I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, and thesaurus, like, just look at the thesaurus. It sounds dumb. I don't read books, I don't know how to read, but I just looked at the thesaurus and it has like synonyms for words, or if you know what you want to say, but you don't know how to say it, or you want it to be more, unique to you and not just a mainstream line from any song, like, find something like that, like a synonym for it or another way to say it. Once you get a little hook like that, you're set, bro, to be honest. Like, stuff just flows. And it sounds like people don't believe it, but a lot of musicians, I'm sure, can relate. uh I don't remember writing half these songs. I'm in a specific, like, mind space. I'm in the zone where, like, I'm not thinking about, like, oh, this is gonna be a good song. I gotta write this. Like, I just write it and record it, and then the song's done.
You're just in
Or I'll be,
flow at that point, I feel like.
yeah, and you're in your workflow. Like, that's your, once, especially when you're in, like, I'm either in my bedroom or in the studio that I'm familiar with. Like, I'm not going to different places back and forth. Like, it's super tight, and usually 100% of the time, actually, I'm the only one in there when I'm recording vocals. Like, I was in the studio last couple nights ago with, like, these two girls. One of them was recording, the other one was just chilling. I was like, look, you'll never hear me record vocals. They're like, what? Why? I'm like, dude, nobody does. Like, because I'm so self-conscious about it. And, like, I have this whole, like, perfect pitch thing going on in my head where, like, I
Hmm.
know, when it's off even a little bit, which is very hard to sit in on sessions sometimes, from other people. But, like, I can't, until it's polished and until it's, like, it sounds good to me, I don't want anybody else to hear it. Like,
Right.
that might be a pride thing. Like, I don't want people to see the steps, but, like, I don't know. I think it's kind of fair. Like, you're not going to show somebody an unedited video you made. Like, you're going to wait and
Exactly.
be like, look, wait till it's done. And once it's done, it's good. I'll show it to you. Because if they
Right.
see it and they're like, oh, that's trash, or, oh, that's not my favorite, it's like, well, you didn't give me a chance to make it good for you.
Or they'll tell you how good it is, and you know, like you can do better. So like they might tell you on the third take, like, "Oh, that was so good, man. That was so dope." And you're like, "No, it's
Yeah.
not. Like I can do so much better." You know?
Same time, though, the only time it is good is when I send somebody a demo, like a producer, and like, oh, this is sick, bro. Put it out. I'm like, wait, I'm not even done yet. Then I'm like, oh, bro, when it's done, it's gonna be even better. Like, wait, you thought this was good? Like,
Yeah.
I'll send people stuff, and they'll be like, that was fire. And I don't know, half the time they might just be blowing smoke, because I'll listen to it a month later and I'm like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
Like, either you're trying to make me feel better, which please don't, or you just haven't heard good music, because, like, dude, some stuff is bad. But now I get self-conscious because I'm like, dude, people said that SoundCloud stuff I was making was good. Like, adults were like, oh, oh, I could bump this in the car. This is cool. So now when I make good stuff and they say the same thing, I'm like, am I same spot? You know, but some stuff I feel like across the board, like, sounds all right. But I mean, then you have to remember too, it's subject to personal opinion.
Yeah.
Like, if
100%.
you don't like it, cool. It's not your style, fine, bro. Fine. As long as I feel good about it, and I sit on it for 2 months and my team feels good about it, like it's cool. I'm chilling.
Without blowing smoke, I feel like you have like a gift almost for like writing hooks. Like I still have it stuck in my head. It's like not like I don't listen to it regularly, but it's still stuck in my head. Like took a red eye home, I'm a drowning. You
Drown
know what I mean?
is so yeah, yeah,
Like
the Fiji. Yes, bro.
yeah, like I feel like you have a real
Yeah.
gift for creating memorable hooks like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Thank you, bro. That
Yeah,
that that means a lot to me.
100%.
People don't tell me that a lot. Um, but that was the song that came out the day after I became single, by the way. That was the song was called Love Real, and the hook was like, "Is your love real?" And I was like, fuck, I can't put this out the day after. But I was like, it's already coming out.
Right.
I was like, fair warning, look. I send texts out now. I talk, I'm like, look, this ain't about you. Don't take it as a diss track. Sometimes when I don't do a good enough job, I get texts talking about, hey, dude, why do you hate me? I'm like, look, chill, chill. No, but dude, it's um yeah, I think the thing is that people do a lot of people hesitate, I usually go with your gut because it's right, you
Yeah,
know?
100%.
Like if you listen to something, you're like, oh, that's actually fire. But like I don't know. No, dude, like put that down, try it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But if you're like, oh, this is actually sick, like even throwaways off the EP that I was like putting in there as placeholders almost that like I didn't really care about. They were kind of a go in and come out and it was done type thing. People were like, dude, keep this. I could bump this in the club. And I'm like, wait, dude, hold up. Because it's it's a lot easier to make like the rap kind of upbeat, like singing over a beat that either me or somebody else made. Like that can be done in a couple hours, like mixed and mastered and everything, and it's done. Cause that's you're not really being as creative, other than like a hook and a melody and stuff. But like you can kind of just go and do it. Like I don't
Yeah.
know. It's hard to explain. And it might sound whack to people that take a long time to do it. But like, other genres, other things that I'm trying to do takes way longer and it's way more arrangement that goes into it and stuff. But like the the formula to make a beat is pretty simple. Like once you have it, it's pretty much you don't have to touch anymore.
Right.
So
I feel like even you're talking about like some of your earlier stuff. I feel like of the like the you mentioned people are afraid, and I think that's so true because a lot of people just don't even release their stuff. And I feel like even if it is trash, even if it's whack, like you should just release it. This is what Gary Vee was talking about. Just release it
yeah,
because you'll learn, and then the next thing you put out will be better, and then the next thing you put out will be
yeah.
better,
He,
and then
he's
you'll
the,
reach like this peak of like creativity, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a quantity guy too. Like
Yeah.
he puts out a lot of content all the time, but as he should. And that's the thing I was talking about earlier. Kind of like people are afraid. Keep the stuff out there. Put it out,
Yeah.
and if it's not good, be like acknowledge that. Joke about it on a podcast, but don't take it down because you're ashamed of it.
Right.
Like if I took down every video I was ashamed of, I'd have like maybe 20, 30 videos. I have like 600 videos out there on YouTube that
I
people
didn't even know
can
that. That's
can
crazy.
dude, yeah, my dude, it goes way back, like further back than I like to admit.
You'll
It's
find me in my bed tonight at like 4 a.m. like scrolling all
yeah,
the way
the
back.
oldest vlogs, dude. Yeah. It's I mean, yeah, but for real, people should not be afraid. And it's easy to say don't be afraid because we do it, but yeah, I mean, I get maybe being apprehensive because you don't know how this can be perceived, but I was telling somebody, the girl I went to the studio with the other night, because she wants to get into it, right? She's like, I'm not the best singer and I don't really play instruments that well, but like I want to do it. I was like, that's the person that needs to be in the studio.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
dude, you had 15, 16-year-old me not knowing how to do anything like that in there doing it. And it sounds terrible, but you have to be driven to do it. Like there are plenty of people that sing that are professionals that sing, on stages and play instruments really well, and they would never get in the studio and make music and
Yeah.
put it out. And it would be amazing if they did, but that's just not their thing. And so I was telling like it's easier to make somebody better at what they want to do than make them want to do it. Like you
100%.
can't you can't teach somebody dedication. You can't really teach somebody drive.
100%.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. Like I do if somebody sucks, I won't sugarcoat it. I'll be like, look, this I'm not gonna say it's not for you. I'm gonna say, look, this is for you and you need to grow into it.
Right.
No, because
Yeah.
I don't want to kill somebody's, drive. And now I'm stuck with what? People that are talented that don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I'd rather have somebody that's a little less talented that really wants to do it.
And plus there's like so much technology you can use nowadays like to like mimic talent. And I feel like maybe that's not the best way to
Yeah.
put it, but like you can, you know,
No,
autotune is
no, you're
almost
right
like an
though.
art form at this point,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and you don't want to like a piano song to have what sounds like Future on it, you know, like you
Right.
don't want it to be crazy, but no, seriously. And even I like when they're comfortable enough to be like, hey, you can pitch crazy to do whatever you want to do. Like if,
Yeah,
but a lot of people I've found have been like, no, I want to be my voice, like for
right,
what it is. And then that'll be when I'm like, hey, maybe get voice lessons, maybe do this, maybe do some warm-ups because I'm looking out for you. Like
right.
I didn't have people at first looking out for me and what I put out, and I was just, you know, going put out crazy awful stuff. I was like, look, I'm gonna help you out. I'll tell
Yeah,
you that it's not 100% before the whole world does. Like that's what I want for my people. Like in my circle right now, we're really tight, and I'm like, hey, if I send you this, like I want you to be honest. You know, if it's not the best, tell me that before thousands of people tell me it sucks. Like you know what I mean?
100%.
And that's what you need to have people that you can trust to do that. That'll be honest
Yeah.
with you. Like you don't want yes men. Like no, I don't need a yes man.
See, what's so cool about you telling her that, like, you know, hey, that's the person that is gonna succeed is the person that wants it, not the person that's like super talented. It's super cool because like that might be the reason she goes on to be like the next big pop star, right?
Dude, hard work beats talent every time. Like
Yeah, exactly. Especially in the boxing gym, like the there's so many people that have been doing this longer than me. I've literally only been doing it for a year as of the beginning of September. And
yeah,
like I just feel like I've evolved so much. And it's just because of how hungry I am and how
you
much I
have the
absolutely love it. You know what I mean?
yeah, bro. I've seen you fight, and yeah, it does not look like you've been fighting for a year, bro.
I
Like
appreciate that, bro.
it's crazy, man. I'm like, dude, this kid. If he, if you want it, like I said, bro, if you want it, you got it. Whatever the thing is, like some people, like whatever they're driven towards, they're gonna do it. Like my mom tells me that she's like, she has a lot of faith, and my mom's very supportive. I love her because, like, bro, I can imagine my kid coming to me. Well, I can because I'm me, but like other, you know what I mean. But like your parents, you know, if you go to them and say, hey, look, I'm not going to college, I'm not going to get a 9 to 5, but I'm gonna make it work. Trust me.
Yeah.
It's like it takes a lot to really trust your kid on that and be like, okay.
Bro, supportive
And
parents
so
are like something else. Like I feel like I can't imagine a world where like my parents didn't support me in like a you can do it kind of way. You
right.
know, even though my dad he made me stick with computer science, as you can see my degree right there. And so now I'm working as a
Yes,
software
sir.
engineer to like
Yes,
make
sir.
money to get out of debt to support my father and like all that.
Of course.
But also like you know, there's so many people that get stuck in that trap where they have a tight job where they're like making money and then they like don't go to the gym or they don't like work on what they
Because
enjoy
because
because they don't need
comfortability, bro.
to.
They're
Exactly.
comfortable. Right. I fear being too comfortable sometimes.
Yeah.
Because unless I'm at the top of the world, I have the biggest music in the world, I should be comfortable.
Right.
Right? Like if my goals aren't scaring me, they're not big enough, kind of in that way. You know, if I'm like, oh well, here I am chilling out, I made it, I'm fine. Unless that's the case, you know, objectively,
Hmm.
then I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
You know, like
And
party along the way, of course, celebrate along the way as you do things, but don't be ever like too comfortable with it.
right. And I feel
And
like people
sometimes,
just you got to be able to make time. Like a lot of people are like they just don't make time for the things that are important to them, which I've never
yeah,
understood, you know?
yeah, and I feel bad sometimes about that too, because like I, you know, not that anybody's telling me, but like tell myself, I'm like, I need to get my priorities straight, like because I'll find myself being like, no, to my little brother who's 10, like, hey, I don't want to play chess with you. I got to go to the studio, or I got to do this, or man, I'm making a video, I'm editing right now. Like, talk to me later. Whatever. Like, I feel, I don't want that to consume me, or
Right.
take up everything. But then, so there's not really like I'm working on that for sure. The thing in the moment I tell myself is like, well, so and so that I look up to probably is working right now, so I should be working too. Sometimes I want to be awake before everybody and asleep after everybody because at least I know I'm working the hardest. But that's not always true. It's about how you spend your time and what you do in the time. Because
Well,
like if I'm chilling in the studio and I take a 30-minute break, I'm like, well, these 30 minutes I could have been at home doing something with my family, watching a
right.
movie or something. So it just, yeah, I'm again trying to figure it out as an 18-year-old boy. with
I mean, I'm
very
24,
confused.
bro. I relate to it. Like, I'm 24. I'm still like, I'm 6 years older than you, and I haven't even figured it out. My dad came in here today when I was editing the previous podcast because I've been watching Squid Game lately. Super good, by the way.
All
And
right.
so I need to like find 8 hours to give that. I'm on the last episode, and so
Right.
I'm like editing this video. I know like tonight you and I were gonna have this, and so my dad comes in. He's like, I feel like we don't do anything anymore, and I feel bad because it's like, oh, I want to do something with them, but like. I know I
Exactly,
need to
bro.
edit this video tonight because if I don't edit this video tonight and I can't do it later because I'm on with Max, and then like this week I'm not gonna have time to do it because it's a big week of like work because we have a demo launching, and it's like
Right.
if you get caught behind, the backlog gets bigger and
It
bigger
never
and
catches
bigger.
up, and a lot
Yeah.
and stuff falls through and it never happens.
Yeah.
That's why I try not to overbook myself or get too many things started and not finished.
But
Right.
then if you aren't doing something, then you start to go crazy because you're like, I'm not doing anything. Then you get sad, then you get depressed. You're like, oh, I gotta find something to
Right.
do.
Well, I feel like between me and you, there's always something at least we have to do, but it's just
Yeah,
about not overbooking, not overdoing it.
exactly.
But
Yeah.
then I'm like, wait, I just went out with my friends, or I just flew here for a week, or I'm just hanging out with these people. Why not with my family? Because then it's if I was them, I would feel like not the priority too, and like it sucks, dude.
Yeah.
Like I don't never see my family and shit, but like I could sometimes do more. That's why I went, for a couple of days. They're still there, like on vacation. They're chilling out, on the beach, like having fun. I went out there for a day to go see them and chill and be with them and stuff. Because I
A
was like,
day.
well, I spent the night
Uh,
last night too. I went there early yesterday and came back like a little while before this. So I was there, but I had to come back and get more stuff done
you're
and
grinding, man.
meetings and stuff, phone calls about stuff falling into place. So, but it's also good that they're supportive and I'm also not out here like doing illegal things and like sneaking out and going off doing shady things. Like
Right.
I'm not spending time with them sometimes because I'm doing stuff that like ultimately is gonna, you know, that's just like me going to work. I think of it like that. Like
Right.
I never want to call it work or be like, oh, I have to go to work because that kind of kills the passion for me,
Right.
because eventually I don't care who you are, you might lose a little bit of passion for your work once it becomes too routine, you know.
Yeah.
Like, but if I wake up every day excited to go create something new, whatever the media is for it, whatever the format is, like that excites me.
Well,
I'm like, I get to go do this.
I want to get to a place where Mr. Beast once said, like, I don't think you ever get tired of doing what you love. You get tired of doing the things that are incorporated with doing what you love. So something for me
Mhm.
might be like editing thumbnails, like that can take 30 minutes of time that I don't want to give, or like
Yeah.
editing the video that can take an hour of time that I don't want to give. All I want to do is sit here and talk to Max for an hour, right?
Right.
And so Mr. Beast was like, yo, if you find somebody that can do those things, then you can just focus
Exactly.
on the thing that you love and you enjoy. But right now, like I'm not trying to
Outsource,
pay
bro.
somebody $20, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I know what you mean. No, and that's exactly right though. I mean, I live by that now, like even on a small scale. And
Yeah.
like my brother makes fun of me. He's like, you live just your hedonistic lifestyle, you just do whatever you want. And I'm like, well, not entirely, but do what you want to do and don't do what you don't want to do. You know,
Right.
my mom's like, do that, like you should do this, and I'll just have somebody do it, or I'll pay somebody to do it. Like I was staying in a house for a month over the summer that wasn't mine. I was being paid to stay there, right? To
Yeah.
watch it and stuff. Obviously, we were having fun there, right? But the
Sure.
last couple of days, hired a cleaning lady to come do it, right? And I was like,
Nice.
you should have cleaned that. I was like, look, if you're in a place where you can pay somebody to do what you don't want to do, that means you're doing the right thing. I was like,
Right.
in life, pay somebody to do what you don't want to do so it keeps life fun, you know? And if you can afford to pay someone to do the things that you don't want to do, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
Like
Uh,
if the other hours I spend or what I'm doing instead of that is providing the funds to have that covered, then like it's all good, bro. It all evens out.
Exactly. Because like you said, like time is money. So in the time that you would be like cleaning that house or like I would be editing a thumbnail, you can instead be like booking something else that like directly
Exactly, dude. Yeah.
funds. Yeah.
On a phone call about some other big thing or on a
Right.
podcast with somebody else.
Yeah.
Like it's just about we all get the same 24 hours.
I think
Mhm.
one of the coolest things to me about like fame or like being an influencer or just being like wealthy in general, I think one of the coolest
Mhm.
draws to that has always been like just the ability to pivot freely.
Mhm.
If you look at some of the biggest names right now in the influencer space, like if they just decided tomorrow they wanted to like try music, they could. Or if they just decided tomorrow they
Absolutely.
want to try acting, they could. I think that's so cool. And I think
Yeah.
that's like the coolest thing to me about being like an influencer.
That's honestly my goal. That's one of my end goals is to be able to do what I want and have it be received and have it, be accepted. Like, not that I really I'm worried about being accepted now, but I just, yeah, pretty much what you said though. Like if I want to go be in a movie that's on my bucket list, like I want to be able to just go be in a movie, or
Yeah.
have people reaching out to me to be in their movie,
And if it
and it was
tanks, then they'll talk about it in some like Twitter thing, and then that's just more
clearly,
media for you. And
as we've seen with some influencers, but
yeah,
yeah, yeah, dude, but it's really, yeah, that's an end goal, is to be, I guess, that versatile enough to be able to go do whatever. I'm not saying be a master at it, because you can't be a master at everything,
right. But at the end of
but
the day,
you did
all
it.
of that makes them money, right?
Right. And that's what I was kind of trying to do with the boxing. I was like, wait, so you mean to tell me I can kind of pivot and within a couple months go do a fight, or go do my own, like have an event, that I have, you know, cool pictures and cool stories to say that I did this, you know,
Yeah.
especially professional. Like if it's anything professional, to say I had a professional boxing fight while also balancing all these other things, like it's cool. But then I kind of told myself, I was like, look, I'm not gonna do this just for bragging rights. I'm not gonna do this just to say I did it. Like if I'm not really passionate, I'll give somebody else a shot, and somebody who's more dedicated could probably do it better than me.
Well,
So
not only that, it's
I'm
like the more time you give into that, the less time you can give into music or whatever else you're doing right now, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it just kind of the is it worth it factor for me at that point, a couple months ago when I was, gonna do a boxing thing. It wasn't. So, but I mean, it's still cool to. I'll probably go in there train.
Yeah, I mean
And
that's the only part that sucks is I miss seeing you in there, bro. We
I
miss you.
know, bro. I'm I'm never really around unless I'm working on something. But I got you. I'll come in this week.
Yeah, man, for sure. I'm in there every day, like 6:30. We can get some rounds in.
Of course, dude. Absolutely, bro.
And this weekend or this week rather, you might have saw my Instagram post, but I leveled up, man. Like I learned something new. And
Oh,
for
dude.
the first time, I'm not gonna say who, but for the first time, I had a dude like fall to his knees from one of my body shots, and I was like,
Dang.
that's what I need to start doing when I'm
You
like
should do that to
fighting.
me, bro. You should do it to me. I want to feel it. I don't. Maybe not. Maybe not. But
Yeah.
I definitely want to. Yeah, we definitely gotta put some work in, bro, for sure.
Yeah, man. Any day you're there, I'd love to move
Hold,
around a
hold me
bit.
to it. No, hold me to it, bro. I'm not saying.
I'll text you every day this week. 100%.
Oh shit. I mean, yeah. Yeah. I'm,
You're
I'm a
like,
grown.
maybe don't hold me to it
I was
that
no. I was
much.
gonna say, I'm a grown ass man. I'm not gonna make it your responsibility to get me in the gym. You know what I mean? It's not up to you to make me
Yeah.
go. But yeah, maybe accountability partner or something to
Yeah,
make
man.
me remember, because it's easy to forget, dude. It's easy to forget a lot of things.
Yeah. No, I get that.
And I think about this sometimes. I'll just randomly, when I know they're asleep, middle of the night, I'll just think of somebody and I'll text them. I'm like, wow, I haven't texted them in a while. No, for real. Like I was to this one guy who was like one of my dad's friends that was like
Yeah.
at the hospital when shit went down, like a year and a half later, I thought of him and I was like, I haven't talked to this guy since. And like I texted him, we went out and got lunch.
That's
Like you
so
really,
cool.
dude, you gotta, if you're able, if you have a phone and a car, bro, why are you, not reconnecting
Right.
with people that have done something for you or been there for you, or, you know, touched your life? Because like clearly with other people, you never know, dude. You never know how long you're here. So
Exactly.
why are you gonna not do it or not call them or whatever?
And plus, a lot of people are just like so busy, and it's not their fault, but they're just so busy that like maybe they're not thinking about texting you or whatever. And
Right.
then like at the exact moment you're texting them, they might have like wanted to, but they just didn't think they
Mhm.
had time, and it just
Yeah.
works out.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing about texting is they see when they see it.
And it's
And it
free. Like, I mean, it's not literally free
that's
to text people, but like
no,
it's so close to free, right?
yeah, yeah. And it takes no time. Like
Exactly.
nobody can say sorry I didn't text. I was busy like all day,
Dude,
like
people that I can't
bro,
stand when people are like,
bro,
"Oh, I didn't have my phone on me." It's like, bro, we
bro,
walk
yes.
around like this all the time,
Yeah,
Like,
bro. Yeah. Oh, dude. Bro. My best friend, Caden, he's definitely listening to this, bro. It's the most annoying thing ever. And this is I honestly goes for a lot of people. It's like if I'm giving somebody a ride, right? And I text them on the way, and then I text them, okay, be there in like 2 minutes, and they're on the phone. Okay, okay, okay. When I get there, be on your phone still.
yeah.
Don't be like, oh, I'm waiting outside for 15 minutes, right? Like I don't want to honk, right? But I'm like, I'm here, right? Like,
Right.
oh, sorry, my phone's across the room, other side of the room. Oh, it's charging. Like, bro, I'm gonna be here. Be by your
Also,
phone.
they don't, they have their phone on them. Like, there's
Literally,
nobody in
bro.
this world that doesn't always have their phone
Yeah,
on
bro.
them.
Dude, when I was staying at that house, um, we called it the trap house. It wasn't really a trap house, but that's just,
Yeah.
but I went to bring my boy food at like 2 a.m. to his house. And he lives in like a pretty nice like area, right? So I was outside, called him, texted him, didn't answer. And I was there for 30 minutes. I was like, dude, I just went and bought you food and brought it to your house. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And then I left her there and I was like, okay. No, I drove around somewhere else. And then he texted me and he's like, oh, my fault, bro. My fault. My fault. I was
Oh
like, okay. I was
no.
like, all right, I'll pull back around and got it to him. We're good. It was fine. But I was like, dude, be on your phone. You know what I mean?
Especially
Moral
if
of the
you're
story.
bringing him food, you know?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I'm like, I'm doing you a favor, bro. I'm at your house, dude. Answer the phone.
Was it hot food or was it just like,
I think I went to 7-Eleven to be honest.
gotcha, okay.
Totally. I think I got him like chips and drinks and stuff.
So it wasn't like on a countdown for like getting cold or
Nah,
anything. I
shit.
was gonna say, bro, if
I
yeah,
would have
exactly.
I would have gone carnivore for that. I would have been like, nah, I'm not wasting the food, dude. Nah.
But yeah, I can't stand when girls do that. Like, you're
Oh,
texting or
dude.
Snapchatting a girl and she's like, oh, I didn't have my phone on me. You're like, now you're
Hmm.
lying to me
That's
too.
crazy. Wait, for 2 weeks? Because you opened my snap 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks.
You got your phone taken? Yeah, 19, you got your phone taken? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude, man. Like at
yeah,
work, cool. I get it. At work, cool. Don't be on your phone. But
right. And that's
other than
something I've
that,
been
man,
trying to do when I go to the boxing gym. Like I check my phone in between rounds and stuff, but I'm trying to get to a place where like when I'm doing that, I'm just doing that. I think that'll
yeah,
like evolve my game for sure.
yeah, yeah. I check my phone in between rounds too.
Yeah, you got to.
Well, no, I don't box, but I just no, I just playing. So at the studio and stuff, right? Like
Yeah,
I'll put my phone. I won't text back for 6 hours because I'll be
right.
gone. And like the people in my life have to understand that. And
Hmm.
it's not like nothing urgent, right? I'll have it on sometimes. Like my mom calls me or whatever. I'll
Yeah,
I'll get a notification, but I'm not on Snapchat and stuff. I'm not doing that stuff. Like if I'm locked in, if I'm there for 4 hours and I spend an hour collectively on my phone or taking a video of the song I just made so I can post it on my story or whatever, like that's just taking time away. You
right.
know,
And
like
you're also not like active in the mindset because like if your brain's like waiting to see that like phone glow and see like so and so Snapchatted you, you're waiting for that. You're not waiting to see like what discoveries you can make musically, right?
yeah, you're so distracted because it kind of when I feel like when your phone's there and it's on the side and you are putting it aside, like it's doing something with your mind. Like I'm
Yeah,
putting this away so I can focus, so I can do work. Like I'm just gonna just ignore it. But
100%.
if you think about ignoring it, then you're not really in your pocket. You're not really in a creative place. If you feel the need to have to be like, okay, don't check your phone, just work. Like you're not really in a creative place. You're not really creative. You're more like, okay, I'm just trying to get this done, and
Right.
so I can check my phone. But if you put it like somewhere else, put it in your backpack, like in the other, like whatever, like leave it, then you're just focused on what's around you.
Even
And
just
like,
flipping it over for me is like a
yeah,
world
that's
of
true. Yeah,
difference.
mine's on silent, so yeah, just flip it
Yeah,
over. But yeah, man, I'm definitely still working on that because it's hard to not talk to people sometimes. It's hard to
100%.
because I there's always a conversation going on, especially with
Yeah,
Snapchat. There's always a conversation that you don't want to be the guy that took 4 hours to answer because you know how
yeah,
frustrating it is when a girl does that and then it's like I'm not on my phone, sorry.
right.
I'm like, but I'm actually doing something,
You're
you
that
know.
guy now.
I'm actually yeah, exactly. It sucks. But my thing's always this, dude. Well, not always, but my thing is this now. If something that I'm attracted to in a girl, right? Sometimes is if she is very busy. Because look,
Mm,
I'm very busy. I cannot give you 100% of attention, right?
yeah,
If you're always sitting around just waiting to talk or FaceTime or text or send me 4 texts in a row, like I can't do that. And that's gonna drive me crazy. And
right.
I'm gonna come off like an asshole for the way I address it when I'm back on my phone.
Yeah,
Like, damn, I was busy, like relax, don't be
yeah,
obsessed. But if a girl's busy, and she's like, "Oh, sorry, I can't talk today or I can't hang out," I'm like, "Yes, dude, like, bro,"
right.
because I need somebody who also has their own life, that's not waiting around for me to text back.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing worse than like a relationship where like she or he, for that matter, doesn't have like any friends and you everything about them is you, right? They don't have their own
Right.
identity, it feels like.
Mhm. Yeah, and again, it's very egotistical to even think that, oh well, her whole life revolves around me. Like, but no, dude. Obviously, she has a life. Any girl they have a life, but I just can't be right now, at least, with somebody that's like just obsessive or just needs
Right,
attention 24/7. And maybe a couple years ago that would have been the thing, and that was the best thing ever for girl. Just you'd be their whole life and
right.
everything. And in a few years down the line, it might be. But right now, when I'm like in the trenches still, I can't, dude.
For me, it was
Because
about like 20 when that changed. Like when I was 16 and when I was 18, I kind of wanted to just build my whole world around this girl and for her to do the same for me. But as I got older and I was hanging out with my friends and she was like, "Oh, can we hang out today?" Like every day. And I was like, "Oh, like you hang out with your friends and I'll hang out with mine today." And like it was one of those things where like she didn't hang out with her friends because I was like her best friend. And so when I
Mm,
got kind of older, I was like looking for a girl that more just had her own hobbies, had her own friends. You know what I mean?
yeah, for sure. Because I know exactly what you're talking about. I've noticed, and I've gone back and kind of looked just out of curiosity, and I was thinking about it. Every time I've started dating a girl or talking to a girl seriously, or hanging out with her more, all my output has gone way down. You know,
Yeah.
the screen time I spent on Logic on my music software tanks. My
Right.
video content tanks. My views, money, everything goes way down.
Yeah.
Because well, being in a relationship is expensive, not just in terms of money though, like your time. You
Yeah.
know, it's
Well,
taking a
if
lot
you're
of time.
putting in
And
work, right?
right, yeah, yeah. But I mean, being in a relationship with somebody, it's gonna take all your time, all your money, which is fine. Like again, it's fine. If I'm gonna commit to something, I'm gonna commit to it.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna do it, and everything else will suffer. But like I'm happy. You know, it's not like I'm sacrificing anything. I don't think of it
Right.
like that. Like I'm not making a sacrifice for somebody. Like I want to be with them. Clearly, I'm gonna do what I have to do to be with them. But
Right.
again, I'm different now than I was, you know, before. So like at this specific point, that's not something that even is appealing to me right now.
So I guess that brings me to like kind of my final question. What are your next steps, man? Like what's your game plan for the next like couple months, next
Couple
6 months?
months, putting out my EP very soon.
Okay.
I think it's finished. So I'm gonna be announcing the release date and everything pretty soon. Just on my social media and stuff. And that's gonna come out. And then I'm gonna start performing for that, you know, doing some more cool stuff. You know, more announcements like that to come. But yeah, just locking in on the music for real, locking in, working with other people. Again, like this
Yeah.
girl I was talking about, just other smaller artists, and I have like a dozen people like that that just need to get in the studio that just or they even want to come over here and just record, you know, in my house. Like this is, you know, industry standard equipment in here that people can record in,
Yeah.
and just give people an outlet for what they need to get out. Because I know how much that means to me. You
Right.
know, having an outlet for whether it's boxing or magic or music, whatever. Like I don't know what people are going through, and I'm not. It's not my place to even know why. You know, but I understand now. It's kind of unspoken. Like people need to get something out or write something. I can make time and I can do that. So I'm really focused the next 6 months or so on getting my own stuff out, but also helping other artists like really find their pocket.
Absolutely, man. If you're not working with like industry standard people or whatever you want to call it, I feel like you're working with like your family and you're making something that all of you can collectively say we did that. And that's kind of
Of
like more
course.
rewarding than like just throwing a bag at something and being like, "Oh, this is like what the industry expects," right?
Yeah, exactly. I was again that night in the studio a couple nights ago. It was like 1 a.m., 1:30, and I was jumping around because I was listening to this beat that I was making for this girl. And we were singing. Another girl in the room was like, "You get hype and over everything, like every project you do, like you're this invested." I'm like, "Yeah, you have to
Yeah,
be." Like I didn't even think about it like that, but I was like, "This has no bearing on my life whatsoever, really." Like I'm gonna go
right.
back to sleep and I'm gonna do my own music. I'm gonna do my stuff, but like I'm so excited because just making something that sounds good that somebody else is gonna be proud of, that you know is gonna be able to put out and start their career potentially, is like just it's exciting to even be a part of it. Like
But also
it's
that's
an honor.
contagious. Like if the person you're working with has that like mindset and that like amount of hype, it makes everybody else also like rise to that
Yeah.
occasion. And then the work is just so much better as a result.
Well, even I was kind of the only. Well, at first I was the one that was kind of initiating the energy because I was like,
Right.
we need, you know, this needs to. You guys, I was
Yeah.
like, I was like, yo, you guys don't realize how cool this thing is. You know, I think it was like a clap or like I put a cool effect on like a drumstick clapping together or something. But I was
Yeah.
like, dude, this is like the best part of the song so far. Like, this is gonna be sick. And like I was just nerding out, but it's yeah, it was definitely contagious. I know what you're talking about,
Yeah. Sometimes all you need is that energy to get started, you know?
dude.
And just
Whatever
the
the
permission, give people permission to like the work that they're doing, you know?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
powerful.
Again, I'm not ever gonna blow smoke, but if I'm validating you and saying it's dope, again, I'm not the pinnacle or the end all be all of what's good and what's bad. But like if I'm hype about it and I'm producing it, like it's
Yeah.
you know, you should know that you're making dope stuff because I don't just geek out over everything everybody makes. You know?
100%. Well, where can they find you? What are your socials?
Social media is just the Max LeVan on every platform. Uh, YouTube, Maxwell LeVan. Yeah,
Excellent.
making reaction videos. I have one going up frequently. I'm not gonna say tonight because this isn't coming out, but just frequently. There's videos out there all the time and stuff.
Probably the
So
night this gets posted, he'll have a reaction going up. Probably.
probably let me know and I'll have one out. Let me know when it's going out and I'll have one out. Uh,
Excellent.
But yeah, man, announcing some really cool stuff, announcing the EP and when all that's coming out. Some really other some cool performances and cool dates and all that stuff on my Instagram.
Awesome.
Uh,
Well, after kind of that comes out, let's plan to run it back again and kind of
oh, of
touch
course, dude.
base
Yeah,
again.
we could. Of course, dude. I'm down.
Yes,
I'm always
sir.
down. You know, I'm down anytime, bro.
Absolutely.
Let me
All right,
know.
man.
You're my
Well,
boy.
I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me on. This is really cool, bro.
Yes,
This is really
sir.
cool.
All right. Thanks
Yeah.
everybody for watching. Have a good night.